We already had a really, really nice move yesterday in gold, but it is extended. It doesn't mean it's worthy of shorting. You know my mantra on this, right? Don't short a new all-time high and don't buy a new all-time low. Speaking of which, Walgreens, they're looking at, unfortunately, not making it as a going concern. So that's not a buy just because they're making new lows. And gold is not as short because they're making new highs.
This short clip is presented by Club. Club provides access to Samantha LaDuc and her team of professional macro and micro traders, analysts, and educators. Club is ideal for active traders, investors, and institutions who want Samantha's best-of-breed market timing calls across all asset classes and timeframes like chase, swing, and trend. Get the trade before it happens. Sign up to Club now and get full access to daily live trading room with Samantha LaDuc, Slack trading desk with detailed analysis and trades, custom trade support when you need it, and much more. For more information, visit www.LaDucTrading.com/club.
Anyway, long story short, I think we have Shake and Bake this week, which I was really just jumping on the bandwagon for that on Friday, because I am still a big bull, right? So it's just like between now and OPEX. Let's get through the week. But Tesla short yesterday was gorgeous, right? I mean, how stunning is that beautiful reversal? And then what was the next price target I gave? 86. We've obviously hit that pre-market, and look at this tag, literally beautiful. That was just it. And now we've gapped below, but this whole look is obviously pretty weak sauce. We had Apple obviously continued into that 171.55. In fact, right now it's kind of holding on by its fingernails. So long story, we have some shake and bake, not a surprise. We have gold percolating higher, which is a warning that the market was getting a little bit too extended. Long story short, I've written about gold now 2 days, Friday and Monday. We have the shake and bake in play. You are positioned for it. That's the good news. Qs are now hitting the 8, which is very, very nice. I'd say press that puppy right down to 430, 465. Looks very, very nice for a, nice little rollover here. 8-day, doesn't look strong, oversold, is still short, hasn't even crossed over yet. By the way, the trend is still bullish. There's nothing that's broken. All I'm looking for is, at best case, a pullback to, in here, this kind of 420, the 430 area. But first, this. It's definitely getting chased. Puts are coming in. Remember, we've had a massive bull run, and optionality has been exceedingly bullish. Yes, NVIDIA is still green. I know. Tesla is perfect. Gorgeous breakdown. Tag. It's sitting on the next price target, which is 182. I got to come up with a new price target. 177, 178, 177. So between this, I'm just going to say 177. Gold is extended. Your level is pretty clearly 194.45. And good memory, Brian. Yep, I said 198. It likely it starts to soften. Well, big picture. There's nothing, there's nothing bearish about this chart. Gorgeous Morningstar reversal for GLD way back here, even before the November pause and Yellen Yahtzee. Broke out higher, pullback is aggressive, that's gold. Breakout higher, pull back to the 10-week, starts to look like it's going to roll over. I said it needs to stay above 184. The 10-week flattened, and then boom. So we're in all-time high territory. It's just not very bearish. Even if we come back down and digest this area, this is literally the monthly trend line, right? From the COVID freakout back August 2020. I just think this is pullback to support is still very viable. And Qs are continuing to soften through the 8-day, but they have not fallen apart. So it's kind of funny. What's happening is we have the softness in Nasdaq, right? Which is, by the way, I think a really great press short candidate, as I've already mentioned. Really oftentimes mentioned. Friday, Monday, with emphasis this morning. So, but what's happening? Oh my God, they're rotating into banks. Even KRE. Is that adorable? Come on, that's adorable. Okay, this is support. You can see it. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And by the way, that was a bearish engulfing. It came down and tagged the Keltner. It tagged weekly support. It tagged the 10-week and then got firmly, like violently defended. Not allowed to break down right now. It's just, it keeps getting defended. Then it got above. Beautiful. Okay, great job. Now it is retesting that breakout area of 438 for the Qs. So this is where it should kind of hang out until we have a reason to break down. But I'm looking at the selling underneath the surface, and they look like they kind of are comfortable. Let's see, we got 7.4 million. That is 7.6 million. So far, that is 6.3 million. So they look pretty comfortable selling right now. Does not look done. This is your air pocket, for lack of a better word, that I'm not expecting anything too dramatic, but that is the potential down here to this 430 area once we can get and stay below 438. Now remember, I'm on a weekly time frame. That's a daily, that's an hour. So all I'm looking for right now is we get below that 438, then there's going to be a lot more kind of spike lower into this 435, which probably only tags briefly, bounces a little bit, but that's your level. All right, so we're going to get some theta decay in some of these calls. Potentially, that would set up a really nice kind of intraday short. Remember this one? That happened to be options expiration, but on a Friday. But we kind of have the same backdrop right now with trepidation, for lack of a better word, in the Powell testimony and non-farm payrolls and gold super hot and the market kind of cooling down. That theta decay could actually force dealers to sell out of some of their stocks by Friday. So don't be surprised if that kind of comes in here and fills 927. Yeah, 927 on a daily, 927 gap fill on a weekly. I would say this would be the kind of week it could do it. Another area to stay below. Why not? Yes, we've done this before, right? 1059. That was exactly the level we used on that Friday. Sure. Perfect. Yep. I can support that message. So that's it. 1059. I know it's really tight, but if we can stay below 1059, then we've got a nice little gap to fill. 917. We already filled this gap. So I want to go make these all white because that was on February 16th. And yet I will go through all the open positions to see if there's anything kind of to worry about. But so far, it's just a kind of, we didn't do 707. Nope. No, 77 is still there. Tesla trying to get support right here. Looks like a pretty nice place for, you know, a calm down. It's working great. Press that baby. It's good for a little shake and bake. I don't think it's going to break the trend, however, right? So Qs are up here. You can see this is like, come on. Oh, I'm on the wrong time frame. Doesn't matter. Here, look. You can see from November, pause, and we broke above this beautiful formation. Got above, we pulled back, broke higher, inside, broke higher, inside, broke higher, shake and bake. The only level right now that really matters is this 438 to get a little bit more drama. And then if you monetize your puts here, right, I would leave a little runner just in case by end of week we have like a 430. Yeah, silver. Let's talk about that a little bit. So we've got gold, which we talked about. It's trend long boorish, right? Not anymore. Not anymore. Like I want to put this on a monthly chart. We know about this. It doesn't matter until it matters, right? Look at how, like, this is, I'm going to actually do this. I want it clean, clean, clean. There we go. As best as I can. Now, this could be a head fake. It could. It really, really could. Or not. So, and the reasons for it moving higher, I've talked about lots of reasons. I didn't even mention China buying. But the point is, if it stays above that 194.45, which of course is all-time highs, why take it off? Don't short an all-time high. So that's all. But silver is languishing still. And usually it plays catch up a little bit later. And we've talked about this big red monthly line of support, which just has an amazing track record. Gets oversold, it's a buy. Gets oversold, it's a buy. But anything above this is bullish. The problem is it's just not gold. And then GDX. I know you like that one, but I'm a little bit, let's just say, not as excited about this. Because if this was any other chart, I would say this, prove it to me. It is guilty until proven innocent. All it's done so far is, bounce into a descending 200. Not exciting to me at all. So in a few months, this could be nicely moving higher. But to do that, it's got to get above and stay above, honestly, this 32 area. I just don't see any. I see a beautiful bounce. I see Druckenmiller coming in and buying Newmont before earnings, and then earnings were not good. And then it got a gold whiff and it moved sharply higher, but I'm not quite sure that's the bottom. Wouldn't surprise me actually if it gets tapped right back down, right where it broke out, comes back in, kind of fills this gap, and then we'll see. Tesla still heading down to that 177.37 time frame. I got a lot of shake and bake with high flyers in the momentum space. Apple clearly breaking trend. That is literally the 10 and 21 top rollover, exactly at monthly resistance with a gorgeous evening star reversal. Tag your it, bounce into resistance, break down below the 10 and 21. That's literally your money candle. That means it's just done. And then a pathetic excuse for a bounce, a tag of the 50, which is very important for Apple. It tends to have a lot of memory at the 50, and then it breaks below 50. And not just a little break, but it gaps below 50 and it heads down to 171. I have got next 165.70, where it should have a bounce. Yes, SMCI, I already mentioned this. Gorgeous. Good job. Yeah, I don't think it's done. Sorry, wrong time frame. I think 927 is absolutely coming to a theater near you. Absolutely gorgeous chase. It's so obvious because the theta decay in those calls will decay. And dealers have to sell out of their stocks. Now, if you had a big expiration like we had on February 16th, that produced a 20% pullback in one day. That was lotto heaven. That was a 30,000 times, if you went in. Anyway, the point is, it won't be that dramatic today. It will be very effective, however. So I think it's really going to work. Now, look at the option flow. You gotta chuckle. Look at the volume coming in here. Do you remember how this was exploding in puts and sold calls on February 16th? Remember that day? I got a video of that this was impressive. So as soon as they realized the dealers were in trouble, they came in here and pummeled it. Pummeled. It was like 100,000 contracts in the first 10 strikes. So it got very, very busy. I took screenshots. I kid you not. The biggest strike of that February 16th day was the 900s, and then they started glomming on to the 800s. 800s was my price target. Remember that? It had 72,000 contracts in the one strike. So it's a thing. Just knowing when to look for it. It's definitely a thing. So right now they've kind of slowed down the selling. Right now with this one, I can kind of see that candle was 2.7 million in sales. This one was 1.5 million in sales. So they're not really falling into like this huge dump. And you get the 3-day literally support. But I still see that hitting at some point, maybe this week, I would say this week. Nice. All I can say is this is working really, really, really nice. Gold is always a great tell. Gold is such a good tell for me. Okay, so this is working. Now I don't think this is the trend reversal. We'd have a lot more that we'd have to break down. And I mean like 4,900 right here. We're at, near 5,100. So we would have to have a full-on reversal. And if you are very heavy in the long department, then those VIX trades that I suggested last Thursday, or just the warning that, we're going to have some shake and bake this week on Friday and Monday, means that you can do some short duration chases with confidence that this is really, really working, but I do not know what's going to happen if we get down to 2%. In the past, they have defended it. Maybe this time they won't. And I do not mean Q's negative 2%. No, I mean specifically SPX. We've had 86 days where we have not had a 2% intraday drawdown. So that's what I'm looking for. That would be forced selling, and VIX would get busy. But I like the combo deal today. You got the Q's working perfectly into that 435 area. Love that one, right? You've got SMCI with a great theta decay right back down to that 927. Love that one. I don't see any reason to be long Tesla, expecting a bounce at that 177. I don't see it yet at all, right? So I just keep giving you new price targets lower. And I did this morning of 177 change. 177.35, you get the point. 177.37. Trading is not a game of perfect. I can see the selling, I can see the puts coming in. This is the kind of volume you want to see if you are directionally short. Look, this is definitely what you want to see. Okay, we're getting into the 11 o'clock hour, and this is typically where things calm down. In other words, the selling or the buying, whatever it is. It usually peters out by about 11 o'clock. So if you are still pressing short, keep that in mind, that we could absolutely have a little bounce after the European close. And what I'm still looking for, big picture, is this. Remember how I have posted this several weeks, right? Since February 16th. We need this SPY and Qs. We need much, much more bullish action into these higher price targets. Remember 444 was my price target for Qs? Okay, now into options expiration, which is March 15th, and then end of quarter, we get these huge, JP Morgan collars and such. We do not have enough option activity coming in here to be really supportive for a lot higher. So we're going to have a reason to sell off, and or a reason for them to start really filling in this area. So I still watch that a lot. Anyway, in the meantime, we've just gone down into the 135 handle for the Qs, meaning we broke below 136. We're now in the 435. So that's it. A little bit more. Remember, the 21 day is 433.75-ish. So let's call it 434 is where it typically will tag and have a little bounce.
Subscribe to LaDuc Trading YouTube channel for more live trading room recap videos and other content.